A truck rolls into a repair bay with a single failed sensor, and the mechanic looks at it, closes the hood, and tells the owner to call the dealership instead. That mechanic has 22 years of diesel experience. He has rebuilt engines that most dealerships won't even attempt, and he still can't touch this one. That single sensor is about to explain a $1 trillion shift in who gets to own American machinery. His name is Dale. He's run his shop outside a mid-sized Midwest town for 2 decades, and this year, for the first time, he started turning away the newest diesel trucks that pull into his lot. By the end of this, you'll understand why the truck in your driveway may no longer belong to you the way you think it does. Roughly 72% of independent diesel repair shops in the United States report turning away at least one late-model truck in the last year, not because the problem was too hard, but because the truck wouldn't let them in. Independent shops turning away work year over year. That's tens of thousands of shops, hundreds of thousands of trucks, and an economy of small-town mechanics who built careers on being able to fix anything with a diesel badge on it. Dale's story starts with a customer, a rancher named Curtis, whose $81,000 truck threw a fault code on a Tuesday morning. Dale diagnosed the problem in 11 minutes. He knew the part. He had it in stock. But the truck's onboard computer wouldn't authorize the repair without a manufacturer login that Dale, despite 2 decades of certifications, doesn't have access to. The system isn't cruel, it's structured. Emissions law, proprietary software, and a licensing model built after 2007 quietly decided who is allowed to open the hood of a modern diesel truck. And it wasn't independent mechanics. But this is only the surface layer. It starts in 2007. The EPA tightened diesel emissions standards harder than at any point in American manufacturing history, forcing every heavy-duty engine maker to cut particulate output by more than 90%. To hit that number, manufacturers didn't just tune engines. They built entirely new systems: diesel particulate filters, selective catalytic reduction, exhaust fluid injection, stacked on top of engines that used to be mechanically simple. By 2010, a second wave of standards pushed nitrogen oxide limits down again. Engines that once ran on fuel, air, and timing now ran on software. Software needs code. Code needs a login. 3 words. Then pause. That login belongs to the manufacturer. 2 words. Then pause. Not the mechanic. To protect that system from tampering, real tampering, the kind that lets a truck cheat emissions tests, manufacturers locked the diagnostic and repair software behind proprietary access. Dealerships got the keys automatically. Independent shops had to apply, pay, and often still got denied. Dale applied for that access in 2019. He's still waiting. Meanwhile, the trucks kept getting smarter, the repairs kept getting harder to access, and the industry quietly split in 2. Trucks a small shop can fix, and trucks only a dealership can touch. But here's what most people get wrong. Most people assume this is about mechanics not being skilled enough. It isn't. It's about the price of admission. A full diagnostic license for a single manufacturer's diesel platform costs an independent shop between $8,000 and $14,000 a year, and that's before a single tool is bought. That's more than most small shops spend on their entire building lease. Multiply that across the 3 major diesel platforms on American roads, and a shop that wants to legally service every modern diesel truck is looking at $30,000 to $45,000 a year just for software access, before labor, before parts, before rent. For a 2-bay shop clearing $180,000 in annual revenue, that's close to a quarter of everything they make, spent just to be allowed to plug in a computer. Here's the counterintuitive turn. Manufacturers didn't design this system to punish independent mechanics. They designed it to survive federal emissions enforcement, where a single tampered truck can trigger EPA fines up to $45,268 per violation under the Clean Air Act. So the manufacturer's incentive isn't to keep shops out. It's to make absolutely sure that whoever gets in can't accidentally or intentionally turn off a pollution control system. That's the sensor Dale couldn't touch. It wasn't broken. It was protected by a legal structure built to stop a different kind of crime entirely, one that had nothing to do with him. The unintended casualty is the mechanic who spent 20 years earning trust, now locked out by a rule written for someone else's fraud. If you've ever felt like the truck in your driveway doesn't fully belong to you, like somewhere between the engine and the app that unlocks it, ownership got quieter, more conditional, you were right. What most people don't realize is that this isn't a diesel story. It's a preview. The same licensing model now used on diesel emission systems is expanding into full vehicle software architecture, steering, braking systems, even battery management on electric trucks. The sensor was never really the story. The login was. Every truck built this way shifts a small piece of control from the person who bought it to the company that built it. And most owners never find out until the day a mechanic like Dale has to say, no. Knowing this puts you ahead of almost every truck owner in America, because now you know to ask one question before you buy. Not what does this engine do, but who's allowed to fix it. Which brings us to what happens next. Right now, state right-to-repair bills are moving through legislatures across the country, aiming to force manufacturers to open that access to independent shops. Slow push-in on Dale locking up his shop at dusk, lights turning off one bay at a time. Some will pass. Most won't, not this year. Until they do, every truck rolling off the line is being built a little more locked than the one before it. And every shop like Dale's is deciding, quietly, how much longer it can afford to stay open. The next time a truck like that pulls into his bay, the question won't be whether he can fix it. It will be whether anyone still lets him try.